Hello, everybody. Happy Friday, and welcome to the Virtual Pipe Club. How are we doing tonight? Let's see. We got Cliff Higgins, Everett Young, Artie's Place, JMZ 56, Kilted Piper Steve, CJP Pipe Rescue, Rob Austin. Good to see all you guys. Always great to see you stopping by. Paul the Piper, how's it going, Paul? Ron Hardcrackers Ward, hello there, Ron. Thanks for your email earlier this week. Bearded Welshman, hello there, John. How you doing? Alan T. Kirk Maxon, how you doing, buddy? Signalman Tony from Rhode Island, hello, Tony. Good to see you. I'm just getting started. I've got my Bing's Favorite that I just filled with Haunted Bookshop, and I'm going to go ahead and light that up. I have not chosen a tamper yet. We're going to go with this one. It's a little self-serving, but so this tamper, let's get a little smudge on there. This tamper is one I actually made, but it's got a story behind it. Where did I put my lighter? So the story is that my good friend, the Durham Duke, who shows up in the live stream sometimes, he went to a shooting range, and a friend of his was shooting whatever those are, and I can't read it anymore, and I don't remember. I'm not real good at identifying shells, but these are unusual. Oh, there's the Durham Duke now. How you doing, buddy? I was just talking about this this tamper here, which was made from the casing that you had sent me. He sent me two of them, and we made two pretty much identical tampers, one that I sent back to the Durham Duke and one that I have. So we've got basically identical tampers. That's done in walnut, basically a natural finish with carnauba wax on the outside. But it's nice. And the cool thing about it is that I think of my friend when I use it. Oda Piper, hello, my friend Christian. Jeffers 58, hello. Thanks for joining us from Eastern Tennessee. WKR Piper, you get me with that every week, buddy. Good to see you. Berserkly, Big Dave. JD Soft Flame Piper. Hello there, Soft Flame Piper. You're a newbie? Well, welcome, newbie. It's good to have you here. Ocho Ita. Hello, my friend. And Ann Underwood. He's thinking about making a tamper from one of his spent 45 Colt casings. I think the 45 is the one that I use most often when I make tampers. They work out great. Thanks, Durham Duke. So it's a .50 Action Express. Yeah, it's a little bit bigger and you know, just really makes a nice tamper. And I put some lead in the end of it, so the weighting is nice on it. Sorry, it sounds like I'm bragging about my own work, but it just, I wanted to tell the story behind it. And you know what? I can brag about my own work. Why not? I translated for you in Underwood. Don't worry about it. Derek Nickel, having a rum and coke and a 7 Nelly smoke in Northern Ireland. Well, Derek, good to see you joining us from Northern Ireland. Paul the Piper. Very good. Berserkly uses 410 or 30-06. Oh, okay. Whatever works. 7 Nelly Mike having some Lefroy in a glass in windy England. Thanks for joining us from England, Mike. Good to see you. Armchair Piper. Hello there, Ed. No, Big Dave. I sometimes make tampers sort of on commission, but it's there's a lot of people making really nice tampers out there, and you'd be better off going to one of them. Edselman 58 from Virginia. Hello there, buddy. Well, in Underwood, you're in a great place for catching up. A lot of good guys out here that'll be more than happy to help you out. So I hope everyone's doing well. I gotta get my drink ready. Yeah, it's and I'm not only am I drinking out of a can, which you got to admit has a very satisfying. Nothing sounds like that. But I am literally going to drink out of the can tonight. Sorry. Oh, I've been looking forward to that all day. Yeah, WKR Piper, thanks for that. Andrew Charter, hello. Glenn Dunnington, how you doing, my friend? Having Malbec with red eye. Alan T. It's Friday, smoking the 860 pipe for the first time. Very nice, Alan. I'm glad you're allowed to smoke in your apartment tonight. Did you get clarification as to whether the Wednesday thing counted? No, Todd, to be honest, I just forgot to bring down the glass. I have a little fridge in the corner of the shop that these are in. Andrew Charters having gin and tonic with Molto Dolce and a Trebbia 320 KS. I'm sure that's wonderful. That just those flavors don't sound right to me together, but I'm glad you're enjoying it. Corvette Jim's having a blue moon. Very nice. Do you do the orange with that, Jim? Yeah, I don't know actually who was asking that. WKR Piper. It's not it is the traditional lager. I showed the wrong side of the can. It says proud supporter of the American Eagle Foundation, and I don't actually know what that is. Join us to protect bald eagles and their habitats. Oh, I learned something. So when you drink Yuengling, you're protecting bald eagles and their habitats. Good to know. You did ask the kids about Wednesday. So I got to mention something about Wednesday. Isn't the fridge the first thing I put in the shop? Actually, Jim, it was. Many years ago, because it was it's a really old fridge. And I had it when I was living by myself in Pittsburgh in a small apartment. And then it wound up my wife-to-be and I moved into an apartment together that had a real refrigerator, and it wound up in one of my in-laws' basement. Stayed there for like 5 years while we were living in Pittsburgh. And then when we moved to Atlanta, they kept it and kept saying, we've got that refrigerator, we got that. So when we moved back here to Pennsylvania, they immediately brought the refrigerator to us. And it came straight down here to the basement. So it's been down here longer than any tool. Dallas is going to have some Bayou Morning Flake and a 673 KS Tiger. Very nice there, full throttle. Mark in Rhode Island. Did I say hello to you already? Sorry if I didn't. Fishwife Piper 74, how you doing? Yeah, Cliff, I like the Eagles. Bald and otherwise. Yeah, I could see how that pipe would quickly become a favorite, Alan T. Burley Nut Bob, hello there. So, I got a couple things I want to talk about, um, and they're all fine. I it's funny. I work, and I haven't been dealing one-on-one with people for quite a while now, but I work with a group of people, and they're very on edge a lot of the time, and I'm not sure why. I think I'm a fairly welcoming person. I don't think I'm scary, but I'll say things like, "I got something I need to talk to you about," and they immediately panic, like, "Oh my God, you're firing me!" It's funny. Maybe they're all walking around with guilty consciences. Anyway, so when I said I've got a couple of things to talk about, I immediately thought, "Oh, they're going to panic." Uh, So I did a live stream this past Wednesday, and the reason I did that instead of my normal Wednesday ramble video was that I was testing out the new camera setup and stuff, and I really wanted to use that tonight, and it looked great. The audio was fine, the video looked good. I was really happy with it, and I was able to do fade-ins and fade-outs, which is really what I want to be able to do so that this doesn't have a cold start to it. And I was pretty happy with it. I got really good feedback, but it turns out that for some reason, the live chat did not save with the video. So if you go, well, you can't watch it now because I made it private because it's just me sitting in the basement talking to myself. But without the live stream chat, these videos are really boring on the replay. So I didn't want to risk that happening to one of the Friday night streams. So I'm back with the old system now. I don't know if I'm going to do it next Wednesday, but I will probably, for a while until I get this sorted out, be doing a live stream Wednesday afternoon. Maybe not every Wednesday, but you'll see notifications for that. And it's just, there's no topic or anything. It's just getting together and BSing for a while I test out the system. So that's one piece of news. The other piece of news is a bit unfortunate, but it'll be okay in the end. And that is, I told you last week that we had Jeremy Reeves scheduled for next week. And Jeremy called me today. And he's on his way. He's on a business trip right now. And on Friday, he will be in Louisiana picking Perique. Not picking, but choosing Perique. And unfortunately, that means he will not be able to join us. And I told him, it's disappointing, but Perique is important. And I think we'll understand because we're all pretty good friends with Perique. So Jeremy and I will find another time slot that he'll be able to fit into. I don't know what we're going to do next week yet. I'm thinking about a couple of people that maybe I can shift up in the schedule. I've contacted one of them and have not heard back yet. So we'll get something worked out for next week. But I apologize for that. I was certainly looking forward to Jeremy, and I'm sure many of you were. We'll get it sorted. He will be on. He's looking forward to it. Let's see. Scotty Dashboard. Hello, Scotty. Good to see you. David Home. Kendall Plug hit the market recently. Anyone know anything about this blend? Not me. Couch is off next week. Good for you, Couch. How you feeling, buddy? Oh, you're too shy to do an interview? That's a shame. I'd love to have you. It's just a telephone chat. Yep, Perique is important, Boris the Piper, and good to see you, my friend. We all call in one at a time. Jim, I'll be here for 3 days. I'm glad to hear that, Couch. Really glad to hear that. And I don't know if you guys saw Fireman Piper put up a video. Well, I don't know if it was today or yesterday, but he's feeling better and he's now out of quarantine. So that was good to see. There was a guy at work that got sick and caused a little bit of panic, but it turned out that he just had a cold. So apparently, colds are coming around now, and it's going to be interesting to see how cold and flu season interacts with COVID panic. You know, I wish I could do something where it would be nice, because I know a lot of you guys don't want to do a full 45-minute chat, and I can understand you might be shy about doing something like that. Although I guarantee you, within the first 10 minutes, you would be enjoying it, and you'd be surprised at how quickly the chat goes. But it would be nice to work out some way where I could just say, call in and talk to each person for 10 minutes, so I know, or at least I think, Jim, you were being facetious when you said we all call in. But it would be nice to be able to do that sometime. Oh, Scotty, I'm so glad you like that. I got to tell you, and again, this is going to sound like I'm tooting my own horn here, but I really loved the way that stem turned out. And it was the material, not me. It's just really a gorgeous material. I showed this off, I think, last Sunday. It was that orange stem that you could see through it at parts, and it just really, the material was really beautiful. Yeah, Rob, allergies. That's a good point. Oh, thanks, Everett. Appreciate that. Would you like to fill in next week? We could do that. Meerschaum Mountaineer 304, good to see you, buddy. Doing fine here. Jim was serious, Ed. Okay. Well, it's not a terrible idea, Jim. I just don't know how to make it work. But I'll give it some thought. All right, Everett, I'll tell you what, if I haven't heard back from the other guy, I'll send you a note on Instagram after the show tonight, and we'll schedule you in then, if that's the case. And that'd be wonderful. I'm sure you'd be a great guy to talk to for a while, and I think we'd all enjoy getting to know you a bit better. Yeah, Mark, thanks. My voice isn't quite as gravelly as Larry King's, although it's getting there. Larry King wrote a great book that I read, oh gosh, probably about 10 years ago. It's called How to Talk to Anyone, or How to Talk to Absolutely Anyone, something like that. And it was kind of his biography in a sense, but only like how I got to where I am in radio and broadcasting. So it didn't go into, I was born in a one-room, whatever. But fascinating the way he would think about dealing with other people, the way he still does apparently think about it. And how to listen and what to listen for, and those kind of things. And like I said, it's been 10 years, but a lot of the stuff kind of stuck with me, and I use it in my job all the time. When I'm dealing with people that I manage, or if we have seminar speakers come in and I want to ask a question, the way you ask the question is really important. So yeah, it's a good book if you're interested in such things. West Virginia Grizzly, hello. Let's see. There you go, Durham Duke. I need suspenders too. Yeah, Michael Case. Dale Carnegie was had some interesting thoughts on that. Was he the guy that wrote How to Win Friends and Influence People? I can't remember. No, that was quite a while back. Yes. And a lot of what, I don't know if it was what he wrote, because honestly, if I read that book, I've forgotten it. But it was misinterpreted. In the influence people, I think, was too heavily emphasized by a lot of the folks that came after him, and it was kind of considered almost like programming people, which wasn't his point. His point was, to get people to like you, so that you can effectively get your message across. And that's what we're all trying to do, right? Yeah, sales, definitely in sales. And yeah, I guess to some extent that's got a negative connotation to it, because you're trying to get somebody to buy something, but maybe you need that mop slash clock radio. Pipes and Bees, hello there. No full dawdle, and I'm biting my tongue because I've got a really funny response to that, but I'm not going to give it. Tongue foo? Are you making that up, Mark? That sounds like some kind of a joke as well. Verbal Art of Self-Defense. Very interesting, Mark. I will look into that. And it's got an easy name to remember, too. Steph and Skip Kane, just want to say hello. We're watching TV as so can't be on. Hugs to everyone. Well, thanks much for stopping in to say hello, guys. Really appreciate it. And enjoy your TV. Big Dave, that's kind of what I thought when I first saw it. Well, Mark, we definitely need that art. There you go, Dallas. It works. Couch is asking how long I've been using Ubuntu. Ubuntu is a distribution of Linux for guys that don't know. Years, I'm going to say maybe 5 years. I started, first Linux distro that I used was Debian, which I had a really old laptop that I actually got it out of the trash, that I converted to a Linux machine and kept that running for like 10 years. And that was running Debian originally, and then I switched to Mint and ran that for a while. Then I got a new laptop and ran Mint on that for a while, and I started playing around with a lot of different ones and landed on Ubuntu again. And I just really like Ubuntu. It just works, They all just work, but Ubuntu's probably the slickest one that's out there right now. Hot Wings 326. We got another Linux user. Fedora. Yeah, I never tried that. Not sure why. Matthew Geis, how you doing, buddy? Am I pronouncing Geis correctly? They sold to IBM. Oh, Couch is using Mint right now. Cool. Dumpster diving. It was work trash, Cliff. It wasn't quite dumpster diving, but they had gotten new laptops, and there was just a stack of them that they were going to throw away. But they were quite old. They were Dell. I'm not even going to remember what they were called. Cute little things. They were about this big, and very light, but hey, for the time, very light. But they were terribly slow if you were trying to run Windows XP on them, which was what everybody was using at the time. And it turned out that you put Linux on it and it ran like a brand new machine. It was great. David Dixon, hello there. Sorry to hear that it's a sweaty night in Dallas. Donald T, another Linux user. They're coming out of the woodwork now. Yeah, the package manager really is key for sure. I mean, the great thing about Linux, I made that that video last week about CaneRod editing, and the great thing about Linux and about open source software like CaneRod is that you got all these people maintaining it and fixing it and updating it and making it better, and it's just very unusual that I run into a problem with either Ubuntu or something like CaneRod that, if it's a bug, it usually gets fixed within weeks, and if it's a new feature or something, you can get people to add the features for you, or if you're skilled, you can add it yourself. So it's I really like that. Voodoo07 is asking, what's the difference between Linux and Windows? Well, that's kind of like asking, what's the difference between Windows and Mac? They're different operating systems, obviously, but they've got a lot of differences. I mean, the main one is that Linux is free and open source, so it can be modified to suit your needs, and it's well maintained. You're not just locked into what you're given by either Microsoft or Apple. Yeah, Kim Commando. Well, if I remember the history correctly, Artie, it's not Apple-like. Apple. Somebody help me out on this. Apple took. It was Spark, the Spark workstation, I think is how Apple got its original software. And the Spark workstation was based on Unix, but I wouldn't say they're like one another. They're actually complete opposites in that Apple is very locked down and you can only do what they let you do, whereas Linux is completely opened up. Yeah, Scotty, they were all good. I didn't like that peppermint patty though. There was something going on there. Oh, Ochoita, I've had people tell me about that exact lighter and how happy they are with it. I haven't gotten one yet, but the chromed 45 angle clipper. Glad you're enjoying it. Based off BSD? Really? I thought there was something about Spark in there, Couch. Yeah, Hot Wings is making a good point. You can do a VirtualBox, or you can actually create a bootable USB drive where you can, if you can choose your boot device, you can just boot up Linux off of a USB drive and run it that way. Under the hood is, I get you, Artie. I get you. Linux plays a mean piano. With the stem and the shake mortars, what do you use to loosen it up a little? So JD Soft Flame Piper is asking if the stem and tenon is too tight. So if it's too tight, okay, I'm gonna do a little lecturing here. So if it's too tight and it's a pipe that you've been smoking for a while, make sure it's not just dirty, because I replace a lot of broken tenons that break because people do not clean out the mortise every time they clean the pipe, and eventually it gets stuck and they try to take it out and it breaks. So make sure that it's not just that the mortise has some buildup in it and that's why it's tight. If it's just squeaky tight, that's the way it should be. If it's really loose and I mean if it's really tight and you're having a lot of difficulty getting in and out, a little bit of beeswax, but keep it clean because the beeswax will build up as well. And that's another reason why that's a reason why the shanks actually break on pipes, is that people use too much beeswax and it winds up building up and breaking things. Full Doddle's got an explanation, or not an explanation, a possible solution there. Use a number 2 pencil. That could give you a bit of lubrication. And I hate to say sandpaper, Mark. I mean, yes, but I don't know how loose it is, and sometimes just the change in season can make a big difference as well. Yeah, there you go, Donald T. That's a great point. Hot and dry and windy with dry lightning storms. Yeah, we had a rainstorm move through here today, guys, that was quite impressive. It didn't last long, but got a lot of down limbs. Nothing big, no damage or anything, but it was a big storm. And of course, some of you guys have had much worse weather than that. That's the curious thing, Alan T. It can be used for both tightening and loosening. If you just put a little bit on, it's great for, it lubricates the joint. But if it's very loose and you put enough on, it'll grip so that it stays in place. Weller's Special Reserve. Cork grease, that's another good suggestion there. Lost power tonight, Ed. Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of fires out west as well. Bad stuff. Oh boy, Jim, that's something to look forward to. Of course, it's the weekend. We attract that kind of weather here on the weekends. Gotcha, JD. I wasn't trying to accuse you of anything. It's just that that's a common problem. I wanted to make sure that you were, given the right information to start out. And I wouldn't use the Everclear every time you clean it. It can have some negative effects. One of the things is it can sort of suck the moisture out of your briar, and that'll change the dimensions of the mortise as well. So good deal. So I don't know if you guys were on Instagram following Jay Mouton, who we had on the show a while back. He showed some pictures, the satellite, or not satellite, the Doppler image of the hurricane that hit Louisiana last night. And was it last night or the night before? I'm sorry, I'm losing track of time. But he put a little dot on it where he was, and it was really, ominous that it was that close to him. but I saw he had put up on Instagram today that he's fine. All went well, and they got through it fine. But man, that looked like a massive storm. Mark's asking, what is my preferred cleaner? Honestly, for most of the time, I use every time I clean a pipe, I use one JB Long bristled pipe cleaner and one non-bristled pipe cleaner, tapered. And I do that. I actually put one of the first videos I put up was something like pipe cleaning 101 or something like that. The method that I show there is exactly how I clean pipes today. It's the way I clean my own pipes all the time. Occasionally, and boy, I don't know what that means anymore, but every couple of months probably, I'll take them and dip the pipe cleaner in some Everclear and give them a good thorough cleaning. But for routine cleaning, it's just the pipe cleaners. Jimmy, I am actually saying that. Mind your beeswax. That's exactly what I'm saying. In fact, that's T-shirt worthy there. Keckle Jeff, hello. Good to see you. Wow, Meerschaum Mountaineer, that's just terrible. Very bad situation. That's one of the things that I've always liked about Pennsylvania. We don't, most of the things that are really sort of natural disaster type things, we just don't really get those. We don't get hurricanes, we don't get tornadoes. We'll get remnants of hurricanes. We get occasional tornado, but not like you see in places like Oklahoma. We get very, very rare earthquakes, and they're usually quite minor. We don't have mudslides. It's not a bad place to live if you don't like natural disasters. Yeah, Couch, I feel for you, buddy. Takio Kimura, good to see you, my friend. Yeah, absolutely. We gotta keep those folks in prayer. Like a deer in the headlights. Thank you, Michael Case. We do have bears. That's a good point, Jim. They're not huge mosquitoes. I mean, there are much worse places for mosquitoes. And we do get some flooding, Ed. You're right. Okay. Pennsylvania's not good. That's fine. We got enough people here anyway. Being in an oven for 4 months isn't fun either. Oh man, Ocho, that must have been terrible. 120 days without electricity. Hard to imagine. Yeah, Everett, you live in a place with everything. Paragon Piper, hello there. There you go, Cliff. Well, Todd A, foxes aren't that bad. We've got foxes here too. We even have coyotes. Picking and piping. Hello there. Good to see you. So I had a. Let's see. I'm gonna load up another pipe while I'm talking here. I'm gonna go. This is a rock cherry wood that I have not smoked in a while. I did a restoration series on this pipe. And where did I put my card off? Ah, it was hiding. We're all now comparing foxes and coyotes and javelinas. You get bears too, Everett? Wow. Oh, raccoons are annoying. I had a run-in with a raccoon when I lived in Pittsburgh that I still get a little frightened when I think about it. I was walking home and I would pass the alley that went behind the house I lived in before I came to the street that, would take me to the front door. And I used to go in the back door anyway. So I would usually cut down this back alley. And I don't know if you guys have this kind of setup where you live, but in this area, the alleyway was wide enough that you could drive a car or truck through. So you would put your trash out in the alleyway at night, well, the night before it was picked up, and the next morning a truck would come along and they would pick up all the trash, and then you take the bin back into your yard. So this long alleyway, and the house I was in was about 2/3 from where I started, where I would turn into it. It was very dark. There was one street lamp about halfway up, and it was cold. It was late. I used to work. It was when I was in graduate school, and I'd work till 2 o'clock in the morning sometimes, and then walk home because the buses had stopped. So it's basically the middle of the night, and it's dark, and I'm walking down this thing, and I see in the street light up ahead this what I thought was a dog. And I've run into dogs frequently, and it's rare that you run into a dog that, a stray dog will usually either run away from you or will come up to you and be friendly. I've never had a bad interaction with a stray dog. So I thought it was a dog, and I just kept walking. It didn't really worry me. And as I got closer, still couldn't quite see. And then all of a sudden, I saw the rings on the tail, and I realized that it was a raccoon. And this darn thing saw me, and it grew to like twice its size. Hair stood straight up, and it let out this hissing sound that, I thought it was going to pounce on me. And it just stood its ground right in the middle of this street. And I don't think anything was going to get it to back down. So I just started walking backwards. And I think the fact that I lived to tell the story is proof enough that it was the right thing to do. Oh, Scotty, did the basketball work, or did he just throw it back at you? Mike Clark is having Big and Burly and a 7LE 122. Very nice. Durham Duke, I have mixed other stuff in with Carter Hall, but never liked it much. Just sort of enjoy Carter Hall by itself, so I don't do it often. He waddled away. I bet it did have big claws. Oh, Dallas. Who speaks Prius for the win? That wasn't what I was going to tell you. I got a customer service story for you. So you get two. Rick Spence is saying his granddad used to mix Carter Hall and Sugar Barrel. Well, that would smell great. Yeah, rabies is always a problem with raccoons, Takia. The one thing that I really did enjoy that I mixed Carter Hall with, and there are people that are going to hate me for this, but I got this is many years ago. I went to Boswell's and I got Northwoods. Everybody was talking about Northwoods, how good it was. And this was back when I was still thinking there must be a lot of Kiev-Lin that I will enjoy. So I bought some Northwoods and I didn't like it. It was okay, it just wasn't changing my life. But I mixed Northwoods with Carter Hall. And darn, that was actually a very nice blend. I did enjoy that quite a bit. It was a half and half mix, and actually this is an interesting story because this is how I actually started in YouTube. So I posted, somebody else was talking about Northwoods and they said they didn't enjoy it, and I was watching the video and I commented on that video and said I mixed it 50-50. And then Grandpa Cavendish commented on my comment and said I tried that and it was really quite good. And we actually started talking offline. He sent me an email and we were going back and forth about, should we call it North Hall or Carter Woods or whatever. And we kind of became friends over that. And he was one of the people that encouraged me quite a bit to start making videos. So it's interesting that actually comes up. I had forgotten that wrinkle in the Carter Hall story. Steve's got an armadillo problem in the yard. Wow. Are armadillos the one that if you make a loud noise, they curl up into a ball and jump? No, Ron, I haven't seen that, but I know Rob made some big pipes. Armadillos are spring-loaded, yeah. I've heard that. I've never seen it. Well, it's even more fun, Scotty, is if you can get them to jump and then shoot them. Half and half in Carter Hall. Yeah, those kind of things, I mean, I'm sure they're fine, but I just enjoy Carter Hall so much that if I put something like half and half in it, yeah, I'm going to taste the half and half and think, oh, I wish it tasted like Carter Hall. So that's why I don't really like to mix stuff with it. But the one time that it really worked out well was with the Northwoods. Oh, thank you, JD Soft Flame Piper. Glad those were helpful. I've heard that about armadillos and leprosy. That is interesting. 3 codgers. Fireman Piper, hello there. Don't think I saw you earlier. Glad to see you're feeling better. So 3 codgers, equal mix of Edgeworth, Ready Rub, Carter Hall, and Sir Walter Raleigh. That sounds pretty good. Kilted Piper Steve, you're starting to make this sound like more fun than it should be. So my customer service story. Mike Clark, this is it's a ROP cherrywood. Um, that's all I know about it. It's an old pipe. I restored it as an estate. So I've told you before I really like 8 o'clock coffee, and I started drinking the fifth. I drink a lot of coffee, and a doctor told me a while back that I should not drink so much caffeine. So I tried the 50% decaf, and it's good. I can drink it, and that means I can drink twice as much coffee as I would be able to otherwise. So that's what I drink now. I drink the 50% 8 o'clock coffee, 50% decaf, and I get the whole bean. And I used to get it at the store, but it's getting really hard to find. And this was before the COVID stuff happened, so it's got nothing to do with that. It just, they don't stock the whole beans as much as they used to. Now these K-Cups have taken over everything. Then I would order from Amazon, and for a while I just had them automatically delivering once a month a 36-ounce bag of the whole beans. But then they said they couldn't get it anymore. So I went directly to 8 o'clock, and you can buy directly from 8 o'clock. And they have a nice thing where you can, well, I think it's nice. You can buy 4 of the 36-ounce bags for less than it would cost if you bought 4 bags individually. And if you do that, it gets you above the cost for their shipping, so you get free shipping. So I will, every couple of months, go to the 8 o'clock website and order 4 bags of this, and that's all I have to do for coffee for quite a while. So I went in the other day to do that, and they didn't have it in stock. They said it was back ordered. And I ordered, since I wanted to have coffee, I ordered a smaller bag of the regular, non-decaf, thinking that'll hold me over until they restock. And then I got an email from them saying that that was back ordered, but they expected to have it at the end of the week. So if I wanted to call and change the order. So I thought, well, if they're expecting to have that at the end of the week, maybe they'll have the 50% decaf. So I called them. First off, the customer service people at 8 o'clock are incredibly nice people, and they really, really try to help you. So I was expecting to, just be told, no, you ordered what you ordered or something. This guy just said, no, that's not a problem. In fact, we've got it in stock now, and we can send it out to you, and you can have it by Friday. This was Wednesday. And I said, oh, fantastic. And he said, okay, here's the extra charge and everything, and we processed that and all. And so I expected to get the coffee today. Well, it actually arrived yesterday. And I thought, wow, that's amazing. 1-day shipping, and they were so nice about it. And I picked up the box, and I knew right away that it wasn't right. And what they had sent me were 4 boxes of Keurig cups, 8 o'clock Italian roast. I have no idea how they got from whole bean 50% decaf to Keurig cup Italian roast, but that's what they sent me. I don't have a Keurig machine. I have no use for these things. So I get back in touch with them yesterday, and I was really busy, so I did it by email. I didn't call them, and that was probably a mistake. Again, super nice, apologized for it and everything. And he says, not a problem. We're gonna fix that. We're gonna send it out to you, and we're gonna expedite the shipping. Said, okay, great, thank you. And I thought about it later, and I said, well, what am I gonna do with these K-Cups? I kind of feel bad keeping them because it was their mistake, but I could give them to somebody or something, but I don't really need the things. And it's costing them money, so I got back in touch with them by email, and I said, what do you want me to do with these? And they said, well, if you want to send them back by FedEx, well, here's a shipping label, so you don't have to pay anything. So all they have to do is take these to FedEx, and they're back. So today, the next shipment came in. it's in one day they're able to get this stuff to me. It's really amazing. And this is coming through the U.S. mail, by the way. So I don't know. These sometimes it takes 6 days to get something from the other side of the state to here, but then things like this happen. So I get a box in from them today. They sent me 1 bag of coffee, not 4. So now I've paid $60-some for 1 bag of coffee, which is not good. So I called them up again today. And I got another person. Every time I call, it's a different person. And this woman was unbelievably apologetic, and she was absolutely incensed that they told me to send back the coffee. She said that that was their mistake. There's absolutely no way that she's going to let that happen, and that I need to keep it, and if I can't use it, dispose of it however I see fit, but do not ship that back. And she's going to expedite 3 more bags to me. And I was, okay, granted, on the one hand, they really messed up, twice. But to be fair, I did change the order, and they were really, really good about it. And I think that tomorrow or Monday I'll have what I had ordered, and it really is not that big of a deal that I had to go through it. But I was really impressed with their customer service. It's rare that you get that kind of service, and this was with multiple people in the company. So I give them a big shout out, and highly suggest, if you like 8 o'clock coffee, try to check out 8 o'clock's website and order directly from them. And you can tell how exciting my life is when what I choose to talk about is my interactions with the 8 o'clock customer service people. Todd A. mixed 3 nuns, Virginia white burley, a lot of Kiev Lake, and some more Kentucky. Wow, that's quite a mixture. Yeah, I used to drink Dunkin' Donuts coffee all the time, Todd, and I got mad at Dunkin' Donuts. Isn't 8 o'clock an A&P grocery store blend? Big Dave, I don't know. That sounds right to me, but I haven't seen an A&P grocery store in many years. Yeah, JD Soft Flame Piper, it's true. It's rare these days. Are you heading out, Todd? Well, thanks so much. You have a good day too, and God bless you. Sir Captain Raleigh Hall. There you go, Meerschaum Mountaineer. All right, Cliff, enjoy your dinner. Take care now. Everett, you drink instant coffee? Hey, Portsmouth Piper. Hope you had a good time out with the wife. I'm glad you could make it. Was it A&P blend? Tim Hortons. I've had Tim Hortons. Take care, Cliff. Death Wish coffee. That sounds good, Jim. Yes, Couched. I've had some of your roasted coffee, haven't I? Dude, roasted. Steve, if you give yourself the nickname, it doesn't count. Second. I can remember Big Dave going into the A&Ps, and they had the grinders where you would buy the whole bean coffee and grind it back into the bag that it came in. And those, I think, were 8 o'clock branded grinders. So there must have been some connection there. Postum. Yeah, that was some sort of a grain-based coffee substitute. It wasn't good. Postum sucks. There you go, Andrew Charter. And very, very definitive. Ah, there you go, Everett. So it's your fault. Yeah, I grind mine fresh in the morning too, Paragon Piper. I got one of those. I think it's Kenmore made them, the big glass dome grinders. So the coffee, you can store it in this glass dome, and then there's a thing at the bottom that it spouts out of when you turn it on. Cali Piper. There you go, Steve. Yeah, I have had Louisiana chicory coffee. Good stuff. The chicory smooths it out really nicely. Michael Case. No, she's actually back. I should have mentioned that. My wife came back last night, actually, and she had a great time. Got to see her parents first time since back in March. I had the 8 o'clock grinder at Foodland too. Cuisinart burr grinder. That sounds like it would be handy, Mark. Kirk Maxon, Folgers K-Cups. If that's what you like, that's what you drink. No problem with that. How we doing here on time? I hope you won't think less of me, but I got an extra tonight. Rob, that's not a bad idea. I can check with Ed and see if he'd be interested. I know he has not been. Sorry, I'm laughing at Steve. I know he's not been on YouTube much lately, but I can check with him. We'll see if Grandpa Cavendish would like to be on the show. Yeah. So Kelly Piper 62. I was posting every night on Instagram my dinner while my wife was gone because I've got this reputation of not being able to cook for myself, and I think I did pretty good. But after about 3 nights of me putting these meals out, Steve said that he thinks what I'm really doing is leaning over the sink, eating a donut, and drinking Yoo-hoo. I don't think I've had a Yoo-hoo since I was like maybe 9 years old. Cafe Bustelo, that is very good stuff, Voodoo. I used to use that in one of those little, I forget what they're called now, the little Italian espresso pots that make one cup. Thanks, Alan T. You have a good evening now, and thanks a lot for joining us. Yep, drinking 2 beers at a time would be excessive, Andrew. That's why I drink them 1 at a time. The Hat Piper, good evening to you, sir. Yeah, from what I remember of Yoo-Hoo, it was sort of like somebody made chocolate milk and forgot to put the milk in it. Sounds like not a bad dinner. Mocha pots, is that what they're called? I don't think that's what they're called when I bought them, but I've seen that term used. Miller Lite in a Crunch Bar. Well, Jim, there's always room for dessert, isn't there? Oh, is that right, Michael? It was a caffeine-free alternative to coffee. Yeah, Mark, I guess it would be similar to an egg cream. We used to have one of the last surviving soda fountains in Philadelphia was not too far from the house I grew up in, and they had egg creams. Um, Always wanted to try them, but my mother would never allow me to get them because she thought they had raw eggs in them. Pop Tart to Moxie. Moxie is an interesting drink. I have had Moxie. They still make Moxie. That was a Midwestern thing. Make coffee from cocoa beans? Interesting. All right, Ed, thanks for joining us, buddy. Have a good evening. Yeah, JD, just be careful with that Yoo-hoo. Well, that's good news, Hat Piper. Hope you get yours soon. Really, Ochoita, that's. I'm glad to see you were able to shake that in your older years. Chocolate Soldier. Never heard of that, Ron. Interesting. The worst soda I ever had, soda or pop if you're Midwestern, was when I lived in Pittsburgh. We used to go to this little deli once in a while for lunch, and they had a selection of unusual, to me at least, canned sodas that you could get in their cooler. And so, for example, that's where I first started drinking, what the heck is it? Grosvenor's ginger ale? That doesn't sound right, but it's really good ginger ale. So I had lots of unusual things, and one of the things that was in the case that I used to always make fun of was a soda called Garfield's. Garfield was the name. They had different flavors of Garfield's, and it was Garfield Diet Chocolate Cherry Fudge Soda. And I used to make fun of this every time we went to the store because I just thought it was hilarious that you would combine chocolate cherry fudge and then have the audacity to make it a diet soda. So finally, my friend got tired of me making fun of it and said, "That's it, you're drinking it." So I bought it, and oh God, it was awful. RC Cola and Moon Pies. That was popular down in Georgia when I lived there. It was nasty, Steve. Yeah, RC always struck me as being a sort of a watered down version of Coke. Grill hair on your fingernails. Yeah, Steve, it was unpleasant. They were still making RC back in the 90s when I was in Atlanta. You know, Dr. Pepper was originally a laxative. Oh, so Mark, you're currently drinking RC. Very nice. And Big Dave's defending the RC. Well, I have no room to talk. Other than ginger ale, I haven't had any soda pop in probably like 15 years. Well, Dr. Pepper, I was serious about it being a laxative. It was originally medicinal. It might be the first one marketed, but certainly there were root beers and sarsaparillas being made prior to that. Yeah, I get that Paragon Piper. And I remember it because we used to drink it when I was a kid, and we'd go to the store, the corner store, and you could get these little bottles of RC. They were really tiny, kind of squat bottles, and I think they were like, I don't even think they were a quarter. I think we'd use a quarter and get change. They had a pry-off cap, and there was when you got the cap off, there was like this black thing that you could peel off, and underneath you would win money. So sometimes we'd go in, be two of us, and we'd only have enough money for one, and you'd peel the thing off, and you'd actually wind up getting enough money to buy one for your friend. The other thing I remember about it was they were glass bottles, and they had that foam around the outside of it, like a thin styrofoam, that I suppose was just there because it was something to grip, and it didn't, the bottle sweat in the hot, humid weather. That didn't get wet. But I can remember sitting there peeling that foam off the bottles in little strips. Portsmouth Piper, the ginger ale I was trying to remember was Verner's. It just came to me as I was reading your comment. I'm pretty much not picky when it comes to ginger ale. I'll drink whatever my wife happens to buy. It's usually either Seagram's or Canada Dry, but it doesn't matter to me. Yeah, root beer is probably the one that would sort of tempt me away from my no soda drinking as well at Choita. I do like root beer. Oh, I really like root beer floats. Those things are quite dangerous. Then you get a lot of ice cream can disappear into a good root beer float, and you're drinking it, so you don't realize you're eating a lot of ice cream. Jenny Cream Ale, do they still make that? I haven't seen that in a long time. Oh, that's cool, Steve. So you get 10 bottle caps from Sunshine Orange Soda, and you get a free movie ticket. Big Red Cream Soda. Nick, I'm not familiar with that one. Mug root beer. Nothing. Jenny was the Coors Light of Western New York. Yeah, it was pretty big. It was Jenny Cream Ale, but then there was also a 12 Horse Ale. Were they the same thing, or was that something different? Scotty's first beer was a Jenny. The commercial just came into my head. Genesee and is believing was their tagline. It was foam of a Lake Erie. Ah, Boris, that's, yeah. It's harder to find the Diet Dr. Peppers. I know quite a few people that switched to Diet Colas for a while and found that they could not go back to drinking the regular. It was too sweet to them. Ale 8 is good ginger ale. I'll have to look for that West Virginia Grizzly. Oh, that's interesting, Ron. Pommick was served as a non-alcohol champagne substitute. Madala beer. I'm not familiar with that, obviously, Ochoita, but if I ever get to Puerto Rico, I will look for it. Went to Puerto Rico once, many years ago. Beautiful. All right, Steve. Thanks for stopping in, dude Rustica. You take care, buddy. There's a shortage of pepperoni. All right, Rick Spence. Have a great week, buddy. See you next week. I forgot to tell Steve, dude Rustica, my plans of combining the remaining Amphora Black Cavendish with Rustica. Yeah, I think a lot of these shortages are either not really shortages or they're very local. Because I'm hearing about all kinds of things that people are saying there's shortages of. I've heard people say that they can't buy meat, which, we've never had a problem buying meat. And I haven't seen anything in terms of pepperoni. I know Dr. Pepper is available. My wife does drink Dr. Pepper. Diet Right Cola. Yes, Michael Case, I remember that. Everybody likes it was the tagline for that. I'm sorry, I get commercial jingles are something that I cannot get out of my head. I'll be singing that one for the rest of the weekend. There's definitely a shortage of comments. I think that's the one thing that's definitely in short supply, Paragon Piper. Tab, totally artificial beverage. There's a good one. Piper on the 45. And if I remember right, it tasted like it was a totally artificial beverage. Tang and Fresca. Wow. You know, Fresca, I got to admit, Fresca wasn't great, but it was okay, I thought. It was like very citrusy and very bubbly. Not too, not sweet at all, really. It was almost like a, if I remember right, it was like a grapefruit flavored soda. Unsweetened grapefruit is what it tasted like. Sailor, hello. Thanks for joining us. Fresca is grapefruit flavored? I remembered it right. All right, Mission Mountaineer. Enjoy those pig's feet. Squirt grapefruit soda. You can't get cream soda anymore, Paragon Piper? How about birch beer? Does anyone know that? That was a big childhood summer thing for me. We'd go to the beach in Wildwood, New Jersey, and there were these pizza shops on the boardwalk. And I don't know what it is about them, but the boardwalk pizza was unlike any pizza I've ever had. And I can't tell you if it was good or bad. It just was special because it was on the beach and, it was great. And those shops would sell birch beer. They'd sell other things too, but birch beer is what I always got with the pizza when I was a wee little lad. Sioux City birch beer? Maybe. I'll think of the brand. I can see it. I can see like there was a barrel at the pizza shop. It wasn't really a barrel. It was just the advertising thing. Sugar-free bubble up has pizzazz. Solar Soda Polar brand birch beer. Okay, Artie. And who was that that ate Tang like Fun Dip? Donald T. That's funny. Is there anything that doesn't go well with rum, Sailor? Okay, Voodoo. So you got a can of birch beer, and well, I guess birch beer is still around then. And I guess you're glad you got the can of birch beer instead of the can of Yingling, huh? I believe it was Voodoo that reacted somewhat negatively to me buying the Yingling. Pleasure Time Soda Company. That's Ron, that's fantastic. Yeah, Tom Collins doesn't count. Oh, Michael Case, I don't know what to make of that. Cream soda or root beer with a cigar? That's interesting. Well, Voodoo, you and Jay Mouton are in agreement on that. I put up on Instagram this picture of the case of Yingling that I had just bought, and I got two responses. One was from Voodoo, and the other one was from Jay Mouton. And I think they both used the vomit emoticon to respond. Scotch doesn't go well with rum. It depends on the proportion, Sailor. Hams? I'm not familiar with that, Nick. Is that a beer? POC beer? Not sure, Jim. All right, point taken, Voodoo. Oh, Hams is okay. Gotcha, gotcha, Nick. There you go, Big Dave, and they're both responsible. Gun for a dark lager. That sounds good. Molson Canadian is absolutely terrible. What do you think of, is it Heineken? That's whenever I go up to the jazz festival in Montreal, the Heineken seems to. Heineken, is that right? I think that's right. They seem to like own the town of Montreal for that week. Pennsylvania Dutch Birch Beer, yes. Yes, Artie, that's what the barrel had on it that I was trying to remember. It had a boy and a girl. They might have been kissing, but like these stencil outlines, Pennsylvania Dutch sort of artwork, and it said Pennsylvania Dutch Birch Beer. We get Heineken is good and Heineken is terrible. Nothing more polarizing than beer. Carling Black Label, I remember that, Jim. The thing about Heineken is that I would go to the jazz festival, and it's always in July, and it's hot. It's really hot and humid, and he'd be standing there enjoying the music, but just dying from the heat. And this wonderful person would come walking by with this big tray of Heineken beer, and it would be cold and crisp, and it was just the best thing in that heat. Of course, it cost like $15 to get this single can of Heineken, but it was worth it. I'm seeing a lot of Yingling hating out there. Well, guys, more Yingling for me. Yeah, Paragon Piper, I agree. The beer is half the fun of a ball game. Mark in Rhode Island likes Sam Adams. Where is that made, Scotty? Rolling Rock? Ugh. Rolling Rock was, when I was in high school, Rolling Rock was like the cheapest junk beer that you could buy. Nobody liked it. And it became this... this fad yuppie beer that it just never understood it. Peroni is good stuff, Kegel Jeff. I like Peroni. First had Peroni in Sicily, actually. Really enjoyed it, and I do get it here. There's a couple of places that sell it. There you go, Scotty. Yeah, Ron, that's why I like Yingling. I mean, it costs the same as something like Miller or Budweiser, but it actually has some taste to it. And don't get me wrong, I like Miller. I drink a lot of Miller, but I don't know. It just has a fuller flavor to it, in my opinion. PBR, yeah. Oh, Bertucci's really. We get it at. I think it's called Anthony's Brick Oven Pizza. I don't know if that's a chain or if it's just one place. But they have a Peroni night where and I can never remember what night it is, but I think you get like $1 Peronis if you order a pizza. Well, Scotty, there's a reason for that, but we're not going to get into politics tonight. Sapporo. I've had Sapporo. It's good. Yeah, black and I haven't had much black and tan. I've had a few of them though, and they're good. Pipes, etc. Yes, indeed, it is too short to drink crap beer and wine. I agree, especially wine. Oh, my wife was very kind to me. I'll talk about this on Sunday, but she brought me back from Pittsburgh. She went to Leaf and Bean, and she got me a very nice selection of cigars. But when she was in Virginia, she likes to go wine shopping in Virginia. I don't know if Virginia has a better selection of wine than Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania has a very restricted state store system. But so she likes to wine shop, and she brought back probably about 8 or 9 bottles, and she got me a couple of bottles that I'll show you a picture on Sunday. I don't want to give it away, but I'll just say this: I'm gonna be opening one of these bottles on November 3rd. Flying Dog, yeah. They've got some good beers. Yeah, Scotty, I'm a lucky man. I really am. Yeah, pipes, etc. I bet you do. Yeah, Christian, I am lucky. 12 course banquets cost $27. Wow. That 24 pack of Yingling that I bought was $21. So less than $1 a can. Oh, no problem, JD. Sorry, I sometimes forget to explain myself, to be honest. I just assume everybody knows what I'm talking about. So I usually do a video on Sunday mornings, just I call it a weekend chat. That's all that I used to do, but then this live stream thing started, so I've been doing that. And then I've been doing so I started doing the Sunday videos, and then I started doing a Friday, what I was calling a roadway ramble video when I was driving home from work, which I really liked because it just let me sort of get stuff off my chest and I didn't care about what I said. But then with the whole COVID thing, I haven't been going to work, and I started doing the live streams on Friday night, so I can't do the Friday roadway ramble. So that became the Wednesday roadway ramble. So I basically do 3 videos a week. I do one on Sunday, one on Wednesday, and then the Friday night live stream. I hope that explains it. So I will, in my Sunday video, I'll talk more about what my wife, my presents from my wife. What MLB ballpark did they have 10-cent beer night that ended in a riot? I don't know, Michael, but I would guess it was Veterans Stadium because it sounds like the sort of thing we would do. They pay you to take the Coors. I hate Coors. I never liked Coors. Yeah, I get it, Everett. Paul Johnson, hello. Oh, Scotty, you're taking responsibility for that. Okay. I was going to blame the Philly fans, but if you want to take it. Haven't had Lion's Head beer. Driving 5 miles is too far to get Coors. Casey Hooligan, hello. Guys still joining us, and I'm afraid that I'm going to have to call this to an end. We're a bit over already. In case you didn't hear me at the beginning, next week we will not have Jeremy Reeves. He has to go to Louisiana to pick Perique, and that's more important than being on my live stream, and I fully understand it. So we're going to try to get somebody else to fill in, and we'll see how things go. But we will be here on Friday, next Friday, and I'll certainly do a video on Sunday. And if you watch, I don't know what's going to happen with Wednesday. I'm going to continue to try out this new software, so I might do another live stream on Wednesday. Just keep an eye out for a possible notification for that. If I do it, it will probably be around noon. All right, folks, thanks much for joining me tonight. I really enjoyed it. Always good to see you all, and this is the high point of my week to hang out with you guys, so it's much appreciated. Y'all take care. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you next week. Bye now.